take a moment to speak to you guys on a subject that has been life-changing for me. And I pray that it ministers to your soul to where you need it the most. And I'm going to ask that you guys please stand with me for the reading of the word. And I'm coming from 2 Kings, 4th chapter, verse 32. No, I'm sorry. No, back it back. We're going to start at 27 and go to 37. We're going to begin 2 Kings, 4th chapter, begin at the verse 27 and go through 37. Amen. Find it, please stay in me. Amen. And it reads, "But when she came to the man of God at the mountain, she fell to the ground before him and caught hold of his feet. Gehazi began to push her away, but the man of God said, 'Leave her alone. She is deeply troubled, but the Lord has not told me what it is.' Then she said, 'Did I ask you for a son, Lord? And didn't I say, don't deceive me and get my hopes up?' Then Elijah said to Gehazi, 'Get ready to travel. Take my staff and go. Don't talk to anyone along the way. Go quickly and lay staff on the child's face.' But the boy's mother said, 'As surely as the Lord lives and you live yourself, I won't go home unless you go home with me.' So Elijah returned with her. Gehazi hurried on ahead and laid the staff on the child's face, but nothing happened. There was a sign of no life. He returned to meet Elijah and told him, 'The child is still dead.' When Elijah arrived, the child was indeed dead, lying there on the prophet's bed. He went in alone and shut the door behind him and prayed to the Lord. Then he lay down on the child's body, placing his mouth on the child's mouth, his eyes on the child's eyes, and his hands on the child's hands. And as he stretched out on him, the child's body began to grow warm again. Elijah got up, walked back and forth across the room once, and then he stretched himself out again on the child. This time, the boy sneezed 7 times and opened his eyes. You may be seated. Amen. And today, I'm going to talk to you on the subject of what to do when you don't know what to do. What to do when you don't know what to do.
All right, help us.
Father God, I just come to you right now, thanking you for this opportunity that they call life, Father. I just want to thank you for being so merciful and so gracious, Lord. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to your people, Lord. Lord, this is your word, and these are your people. And Lord, right now, I surrender fully unto you without any reservations, Lord, to your anointing. And Lord, I ask that you bind anything that will hinder your people from saying this word unto them. And Lord, right now, I ask that you send your anointing fresh on me, Lord. Lord, so that they may see you and not me, Lord. Because this is your word and I'm just a messenger. Lord, and right now I ask that you remove any fear, any anxiety, any doubt, so that your word may go forth. In your God's name, Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
What to do when you don't know what to do. Okay, and just to give you a little insight on this story, it's about Elijah. This is Elijah. He's the successor of Elijah, okay? And as he was traveling to the town of Shunem, he ran across his well-off family in Shunem. And the family would invite him into the home as he would travel, okay? They kind of remind you of that good Southern lady. You know how people come in and make yourself home. So the wife suggested that, okay, how about we fix up a room for Elijah so when he comes to town, he'll be comfortable. So the husband agreed. They set up a room for Elijah. Well, because of their graciousness and they served him so greatly, Elijah wanted to do something for that family. Mind you, this Shunammite woman could not have children. She was barren and her husband was old. And so one day, Elijah went to the servant, go talk to the woman and see what can we do for her. So the servant Gehazi went to the lady to see what it is that they could do for her. He's like, what can we do for you since you served us so greatly? And she replied, nothing, basically, I'm good. He's like, well, can we appear before the king for you? Can we go before the commander for you on your behalf or anything? She was like, no, I'm surrounded about my people. I'm good. And so the servant was like, she doesn't have a child. So how about we bless her with a child?
Amen.
So he's like, we're gonna bless you with a child. This time next year, you're gonna have a child. And mind you, her reaction lets me know that she had been disappointed and she tried and failed several times because her reaction was, okay, don't play with me now because I didn't ask for this baby. You telling me, don't get my hopes up for nothing. Okay? So a little while longer later, she was able to have the child. She had the child, everything was good. Years later, the child was out in the yard working with the dad, and the child fell sick. He began to have issues with his head, okay? And the father said, okay, well, take the child to his mom. So he took the child back to his mom. The mother laid the child on her lap, and the child died, which brings us to the text. So when the child died, basically she took the child to that very spot that she had prepared for Elijah when he would come to town. Okay, this woman, for one, this lady had been given a child that she didn't ask for, but she was grateful for when she got it, and then later he died. Have you ever feel like God gave you something and then you feel like it died?
All right,
You
help
get
us,
that job
help
that
us,
you
help
always
us.
wanted, then you start figuring out, okay, I gotta work longer hours, deal with difficult people. It's not always pans out to be till it seems like death.
Yes,
Or maybe
help
you get married, thought you was gonna have it, this fairy tale marriage until the communications kick in, the infidelity sneaks in, the trust issues rise up, and now their relationship is like it's like, you know, you have this beautiful bundle of joy, this child, this bouncing baby boy. A couple of years, this child becomes a teenager, starts smelling himself, wants to do what he wants to do. And he just feels like this. That one thing that you thought was a blessing now feels like it's dead. Okay. So let me slow down a little bit. The boy was dead on Elijah's bed. Okay. That place that she had prepared for Elijah was supposed to be a place of comfort. And now it's a place of death. When he got there, it was dead. Okay? Many of us have experienced things that we thought was a blessing, and now it feels like death. Okay? And have you ever had something to bring you so much joy at one time and happiness, and now it feels like death? And many of us are just like Elijah, standing in that upper room, facing something dead that's hindering our ability to see God clearly. Many of us are like the Shulamite woman, been praying for a thing, and when we get it, it died. So we feel like it died. And both to me feel like that they were in a position where they didn't feel like they didn't know what to do. And today I'm here to share with you what to do when you don't know what to do.
Come on. All right.
Okay, the first thing you have to do is get into a position to where you can hear from God. Yeah. Because I'm speaking for myself, and I'm almost 35, but I've done a lot, and to say the least. But what I found myself, I would find myself doing this, doing that, trying to fill voids, and I was just running, staying busy, but really doing nothing. Yeah. But I found out that you have to get into a position to where you can hear from God, because God's not going to force himself on you, okay? And sometimes you guys may be like me, a little stubborn, a little hard-headed, and he has to show you better than he can tell you. But what I mean about that is he will send things in your life to force you to get into a position to listen. Amen. And that's what happened to me. Several years ago, I came to a place, I was broken. I was unhappy with my job. I felt like I'm overworked, underpaid. I went to school, got degrees, and still can't find a job in my field. So it was just, I was in this broken place. And then I started having problems with my marriage. Didn't know what I was going to do. Then after that, finances were in trouble. It was just one thing after another. Didn't know what to do. I was almost in a state of depression. Okay? Didn't know which way to turn. So in the midst of all of that, I found out that I was pregnant. I was like, oh wow. Okay. I was gonna have a baby. And like the Shulamite woman, I had issues conceiving years before. So I'm like, okay, God, this is it. I know I've been struggling and doing all this, but I'm having a baby. I hope that this comes to pass, right? So a couple of months in, I go in for my checkup, and I had a sonogram. And you know how you can go into the doctor and you can look at the nurse's face and tell when something's not right. So when I was into the room, I could just look and tell on my face that something wasn't right. So the doctor came in, and he was like, oh, Tinesha, I have to tell you something. in the sonogram, we did detect a heartbeat. So at this point, my heart just dropped. Didn't know what to do. I'm like, oh God, I'm going through this and now this. How can this be happening? Didn't know what to do. So he said, okay, we have two options because you have experienced what we call a miscarriage. So we can allow your body to pass this naturally, or you can come back in a couple of days and we can do a surgical procedure of the DNC. So we was like, okay, we're gonna see, because I was like, okay, maybe the doctor don't know what he's talking about. So I went home, and y'all, these were the longest days of my life. So I was like, okay, time went on. And I literally almost lost my mind. I felt like I couldn't do anything. It was crazy. And at that time, I was going to church. But I didn't have a relationship at the time. That hurt hit harder when you don't have a relationship.
That's right.
Now the doctor's telling me that I'm having a miscarriage. So it took a while to process it. So I went through had to return back to the doctor that Friday, had a procedure, everything's fine, we did what we had to do. But in that moment, God started dealing with me on some things. And that's when he put me in a position where I had to hear from him.
Come on now.
He was like, you've been running around doing this for this person, that for that person, but what about me?
All right.
Lord, come on. And so I had to realize that, okay, God was like, I can use you, but before I can use you, you have to grow. And before you grow, you got to let some of that dead stuff go. And just like the doctor said, I could pass that thing naturally, I thought that I could pass those dead things naturally as well. But that's not always the case. Okay? Because God began to tell me, okay, it was my pruning season. And y'all gardeners, y'all know what a pruning season is. You have to pluck those dead weeds because some of those weeds will hinder your growth. And so God was working with me in that thing. And he was saying, okay, before I can use you, before you're able to grow, you got to let some of that hurt, you got to let that dead stuff go. So in all of that, it began to just reflect back about me having a miscarriage. He was like, okay, and you know, with a miscarriage, your body on the inside, well, you don't have the symptoms as a normal. You don't hurt, you don't know, your body doesn't know it. So that's why it's called a miscarriage, okay? And I correlated that with, okay, once I went through what I went through with the baby, I was still carrying some dead stuff on the inside of me. I was angry, I was hurt, I was resentful, I was disappointed, I was carrying unforgiveness, and all of that stuff was still on the inside of me. And just like that miscarriage, I dressed it up very well. And all of us in church, I put a smile on. I'm just broken on the inside. And that's why I say it's so important to have a relationship, y'all. Because I've been going to church all my life. I knew how to sing songs and do all that stuff, but those songs not gonna get you if you don't know what to call it. And a lot of times, that's not gonna be available. You need to know what to say and what to do when you're going through those things. That's why I encourage you guys to get a relationship, a true relationship. It's one thing to have religion, but religion's not gonna get you there.
That's right.
You gotta have a relationship
right.
for yourself.
That's
And
right.
you know the older people used to tell us we living off our grandparents' prayers and all that stuff. But sometimes grandma's not gonna be there. You can't call on grandma, you can't call on pastor, so you have to get the relationship for yourself. Because at that point, like I said, I didn't have that relationship. All I could do was say Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. That's all. But now that I have that relationship and I start going through, don't know how to pay this bill, I know Jehovah Jireh.
All right.
I know Jehovah Jireh. I know Jehovah Jireh. And also, so I encourage you today to get in that position to where you can listen and hear from God. Because like I said, I went through life. If I had it my way, I would plan my life to the T. And I tried to do that. I tried to do that. But God had to say, okay, Misha, you've been telling me all the plans you have for your life. Now it's your time to listen to me.
My God.
And he had to break me down for me to listen to him, okay? So, the first thing, we need to get into position to where we can hear from God. And if you look back at the text, it says that Elijah, when he went into the room, the first thing he did was he walked into the room, he closed the door behind him, and he began to pray. So that's my next point. We need to activate our prayer life. Okay? Activate your prayer life. And like I said, we look back at Elijah, and the first thing he did was pray over that dead boy. It didn't say Elijah called up his friends, talked about it, had a talk over them. Didn't say he posted his problem on Facebook or anything. What is it? It said he prayed. Pastor always tells us, pray until something happens. Okay? Pray until something happens, because when we hit those hard times, prayer is necessary. And sometimes you have to pray in the face of death. And I admit, when I was going through, I didn't have an active prayer life. I was going to church, but I never knew how to pray. I knew the Lord's Prayer, but that wasn't working for me. So I was in a point of desperation. I had to learn how to pray myself. And when I say prayer, it is necessary. And if you guys remember the story, y'all remember the story of Paul and Silas when they were locked in a prison? They didn't complain one bit. The first thing, what he said they do? They prayed and sang hymns unto God. Pray until something happened. When they prayed, what they say? Then suddenly an earthquake shook. It shook. And all the chains were broken. So I encourage you guys to activate that prayer life, because that's the only thing that's going to get you through. Okay. It said Elijah prayed when he went into the room, and he prayed over the dead boy. But it didn't say that the boy came to life after prayer. It said that he laid out on that boy, on the dead boy. He put his mouth on his mouth, his eyes on his eyes, and his hands on his hands. And when I first started reading that, I'm like, oh, I don't want to lay on a dead thing. You know, it didn't really register. But it's not why, but how he laid on the dead thing, okay? He put his mouth on his mouth, his eyes on his eyes, and his hands on his hands. Okay, his mouth on his mouth. That suggests to me that we need to start speaking life over our problems. When we have dead things in our life, we have to put our mouth on the dead things. Because the Bible tells us that the power of life and death lies in our tongue. And if that dead thing is going to be resurrected in your life, you're going to have to start speaking life over it. When you have trouble with your children, people say they may speak death over their child. Well, no, you say, no, my child will succeed. I did not birth that child. Start speaking positivity to their child and watch things change for the better. You may be having problems with your marriage. And every time they act up, oh, he ain't no good, all men dogs. No, you start speaking life over that thing and watch it work. Okay? And when we start speaking bad things about it, we'll see the good things start coming into fruition. And I know I've been in habit of, oh, girl, I can't go today, I'm broke. We need to stop saying we're broke, okay? Stop speaking that negativity over our life. I may not have what I want to have, but I'm being okay? Everything that I need.
Oh, yeah.
And just, it could be anything, but you just start speaking life over it, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your spouse, your children, your job, or whatever. Just start speaking positively, speaking life into those dead things. Because life is not always going to go the way that we want it to go. Okay? But because we know we serve a God that can do all things, we need to start speaking like it, start acting like it. Because Romans 8:18 tells us that the pain that you're feeling now can't compare to the joy that's coming. So as we know that, we need to start speaking like it, start speaking into existence. Okay, so he went into the room and he prayed. Okay, and he put his mouth on his mouth, and then he put his eyes on his eyes. Okay, that suggests to me that we need to change the way we look at some things. Okay, because a lot of times when we going through, the first thing you say, child, the devil's so busy. My partner broke down, I got laid off, the devil is busy. But sometimes we get a devil a little bit too much credit. Again, we have to get ourselves in position to hear from God, and sometimes that could be God's only way of getting your attention. All right. And we get so consumed in doing things that we want to do, and He has to plant those things in our life to remind us of who He is. And so we have to change the way that we looked at things. And I know when I graduated college, I thought I was going to get this good job and do this and do that, and everybody said, well, you need experience. But I'm like, how am I supposed to get experience and nobody will hire me? So like I dealt with rejection for a long time. I was like, I done got all these student loans and did all of this, and I still can't get a job. But then God said, change the way you look at things, because you may have been rejected from that job, but I may have something better than that. That person may But instead of saying, take me out, Lord, what are you teaching me in this moment? Okay, what do I need to learn from this? Okay, you may see it as a heartbreak, but God's saying, okay, that wasn't who I had for you.
That's right.
That job wasn't what I had for you. You went off and got that job on your own, but God got to teach you. You carried all of that because I got something better in store for you. And I had to tell myself those things. Okay, Lord, I lost a job. I lost my child. You know, I really, really wanted to have another child. But I lost a child, but I found my purpose in life. I found a close relationship with God. In those hard times in my marriage, it made me stronger as a person. So I just encourage you guys to change your perspective on how you look at things. Okay. So he went into prayer. He put his mouth on his mouth, his eyes on his eyes, and then it says that he put his hands on his hands. Okay. So that lets us know, okay, he prayed. But how many of you know faith without works is dead? You can pray all day, but if you don't do your part, it's not going to come into fruition. So when he put his hands on his hands, that lets me know, like, okay, we got to change the way we handle some things. Okay? When that person is on your job, getting on your last nerve, you don't need to pop off and curse them out. Instead, pray for them. Okay? If you're having trouble in your relationship with that person, they may have left you for a reason because God didn't have them for you anyway. Just change the way you handle some things. And so he put his mouth on his mouth, his eyes on his eyes, and his hands on his hands. And then he said he stretched himself. How many of us like to be stretched?
All right.
No. Well, I'm going to speak myself. I don't like to be stretched, okay? I want things to, but God doesn't work that way. Because when we get so comfortable, we think we start running our own house.
That's right. You say it, girl.
But God doesn't work that way. And sometimes he wants to stretch us to let us know that we're working through him. And it's all about him.
Oh, yeah.
And I know I had to find that out. I was like, Lord, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But he's like, what is it for my glory?
All right.
You got degrees. Oh, I got this degree. But is it for my glory? If you're not using it for his glory, it's in vain. Okay? And then the stretching, y'all, the stretching. A lot of times with the stretching, it takes us outside of our comfort zone. Okay? And that's where the work really is. You know, we pray, Lord, enlarge my territory. Okay, you want him to enlarge your territory, but you don't want to go through the stretching. But see, he has to stretch your mind so that when he do decide to enlarge your territory, you're able to handle it and you won't mess it up. Because if he bless you with $1 million and your mind's not ready for it, it's going to be gone in a couple of months. Okay? You may be catching it on the job, you praying for a new job or whatever, but you're catching it, Lord, why am I catching it on this job? Because he preparing you for that promotion to handle different people. It's all in your hands. So we have to appreciate that. And it's all in the stretching. Somebody say, thank God for the stretching.
Thank God for the stretching.
Okay. And I had to learn to thank God for the stretching. Because that was a tough one for me. It was really tough. But like I said, it takes us out of that comfort zone. I'm being stretched right now, but y'all know that, you know, I'm shy. I'm not going to say I'm scared because God is not a God of fear. Okay? And that's something I have to constantly tell myself. You know, I'm preaching to y'all, but I'm preaching myself too. Like, God is not a spirit. He does not give us a spirit of fear, but a love, power, and a sound mind. I have to constantly tell myself, love, power, and a sound mind. The whole time, it's like, okay, you're not going to be fearful. But I got all my people with me, so I don't have to be fearful anyway. But to bring us to where he's called us. And at the time, like when I was going through what I was going through, y'all, I didn't understand it. Like I said, I was going to church, but I didn't have that connection with God like I wanted to. And he just began to work with me like, hey, I want to use you, but before I can use you, you got to get rid of that dead stuff. You got to let go of that hurt. You got to forgive that person. And all that. And I know that, it took some time. Don't get it twisted now. I tried to do it on my own. I tried, but it doesn't work. And then you have to call God, and God is the only one that can remove those things. Because if we try to do it, we'll mess it up every time. And I think I kind of went through this very fast. But I just want to encourage you guys that when you face those dead situations, we're going to have to learn to first get into position to where you can hear from God. That's it. Get into position. And once you get into position, you need to activate your prayer life. And then you're going to change the way that you speak about those things. Okay? Stop speaking negatively about those things. Okay? And once we change the way we speak about those things, we're going to change the way we look at those things. It didn't happen to us, it happened for us. Well, what are you teaching me in this moment? How can I learn from this and grow from this? And the only way that we're going to be who God called us to be is we let go of all those things that are hindering our growth. Because God, every one of us have a gift, has a ministry. And you're the only one that can do what God's called you. I can't do what you do. You can't do what I do. Okay, so we have to get into position, start speaking positively about those things. And again, we're going to have to put our hands on the things, change the way we handle it. We can't always deal with the same people. That's a part of growth. When you start growing, you're going to lose some friends. You rock with everybody. And a lot of people don't understand that, but it's nothing personal. We just don't see eye to eye anymore. I still love you, but you can love a person from a distance. Okay? And it's nothing, I still hate you, but I can love you from a distance. And finally, we have to learn to be stretched. Stretching us out of our comfort zone, because it's in the stretching is where God's making us, and we're able to see our flexibility when we're being stretched. We have athletes in the house. What the first thing before you go to any game, any track meet or anything, you have to stretch first. Because if you dive right into the thing, you're gonna feel muscle. That's it. So you have to be stretched. In the spiritual life, it's no different. We have to be stretched. He prepares our mind before he sends us out. And that's in the stretching. Okay, so that we won't mess it up, because if we dive right in it, we'll mess it up every time. Amen. And as I begin to close, I just want to thank you guys for coming out and so supporting me on today. But many of you, just like me, may be carrying some dead things in your life, whether it's hurt, anger, unforgiveness. And we always want to wonder, we talk about, all these go to the doctor, I got an ulcer, I got high blood pressure. Let some of that stuff go. We can't walk that walk right if we're holding all of that thing and all of that unforgiveness in us. How can we hold unforgiveness if God has forgiven us? We expect God to forgive us, but we can't forgive people. Okay? Some of us walk around hurt and angry with people that's done something to us 10 years ago. Don't even know why you still mad. But where they go? That's the only way that we can grow and walk in it. Again, like I said, many of you may be carrying and hurt things just like I was. But in order for God to be able to use you, you guys are going to have to learn to let those things go. The unforgiveness, the pride, whatever it may be. Because God's not going to be able to do that thing that he does if you're holding all that stuff is weighing you down. Because God wants us to live a fruitful and productive life. And we can't be productive if we weigh down with all the dead weight. Okay? So again, I just challenge you guys to let go of all of that dead stuff and let God be the